knocked on the door, and I was the first one in the apartment. I did that just to make sure the apartment was safe. Again, I'm a law enforcement officer. We had 2 civilians with us. I don't want them entering an apartment right off the bat. I want to make sure it's safe. So I went in first. I turned on the light switch, so I touched the light switch, touched the doorknob, and stepped in the apartment, stepped into the living room area again, just to make sure it's safe, and everybody was following behind me. They were scared. It was obvious that, again, touched on that this is a new situation in America. It was clear that they were scared. There were questions that they weren't sure what was happening. I think from minute to minute, and it was just a lot of uncertainty in their eyes. I was placed into a room. An initial nurse came in, and she wasn't covered in any garb or any protective gear, and asked, so you're here for a flu checkup? And I said, yes, I'm here for flu-like symptoms. And if you'll see on the box that I checked, I kind of went the backstory of what had occurred. She left the room, and about 10 minutes later, a doctor comes in full garb, protective gear, gloves, and states that we're having to follow some protocols right now. And I knew at that point it was going to be a long, drawn-out affair. I was scared when I was in the encapsulated room at Texas Presbyterian, when there were nurses in encapsulated suits around me, and they tell me my temperature is 101.7. Because I knew 101.5 is the point where they talk about that being a key point for Ebola, for a symptom of Ebola. And when I heard 101.7, and I saw the 2 nurses look at each other with wide eyes, I wondered if my ticket had been punched. I wondered if it was time. So that was a scary point. I think this is a good wake-up call for us as Americans, that there are diseases out there that may not have been prevalent in our country before that may be introduced and has been introduced, such as Ebola. And I think it's just a case of making sure the public is informed. And I had no problem with the protocols and guidelines that were taking place in treating me. I understood why it happened. It kept me safe. It kept my family safe. It kept the citizens of Dallas County safe. So I understand totally why the protocols were taking place.